belongs to the grammar. In grammar section, you will see 2 marks, 2 questions of error detection, 2 questions of sentence improvement. I guess all the students must be noting down and should note down as well. 1 question of sentence, 1 question of direct indirect, and 1 question of active passive. So you will get 6 questions based on grammar. 12, 6, 18. Then 7 questions will be from the reading section, reading comprehension section. 2 questions will be based on para-jumble, reading rearrangement of sentences, and 4 to 5 questions will be either close test or passage. Close test, the probability of close test is more as compared to probability of passage. And in close test also, if you will see, 2 to 3 blanks will be dependent on 2 blanks will depend on vocabulary section, and 2 to 3 will depend on your vocabulary section. So you can say that vocabulary section will carry around 14 marks, and 6 to 7 marks, 6 to 7 will be of your grammar, and 3 to 4 hardly you will get based on reading. So you need to base yourself or give divide your time basically into the grammar portion. You should give maximum time to the vocabulary section and the grammar section when it comes to SSC CHSL rather than reading comprehension, because 21 questions, grammar and vocabulary.
Right. Thank you, sir, for that well detailed explanation. Okay, I am just coming to some of your questions. Okay, so there's another question for from Rabin. Rabin Sinha wants to know tips for state PCS to better effective English. Okay, I think he wants to know for state PCS, how can we, improve our English? Sir, if you would like to help him out for that.
Okay, I would definitely have liked to help on this, but as we know, state PCS, UPSC, it's completely a different ball game. There, your knowledge regarding general awareness comes to the question, because you will be able to write essays, or you will be able to write summaries, or you will be able to write reading comprehension questions. If you are reading a lot of newspapers like the Hindu and writing every day, that is different. You will have to focus on writing skills more than the grammar or the objective questions. So you will have to be you will have to focus on descriptive part when it comes to UPSC examinations or PCS examination as compared to, whereas in PCS examination or state PCS examination, every PCS has a different syllabus as well. So you will have to prepare as per that syllabus also. You will have to see the syllabus for which state PCS you are preparing, what are the questions that have been asked, whether objective type is being asked, whether descriptive is being asked. So you'll have to focus as per that.
Right. Okay. I'll just move to some other questions. Okay. UV Chikara wants to know, sir, how to prepare for SSC exams during first year of college.
It is a very good idea, or it is a very good thing that you are starting from the first year itself. Because generally people start when they have graduated or when they have completed their graduation. So you are being an early bird, that is definitely going to help you. Now see, this will be an added advantage, or you can say you will have an advantage because you are having the years. But at the same time, the difficulty level will become high, because the number of participants will increase and the number of the vacancies will decline. So you have the added advantage as well as there is a disadvantage also. So you will have to prepare, you will have to score more marks when it comes in future. So if I am in your place and I'm preparing, it is my first year of graduation, then I will give at least 3 to 4 hours to SSC CGL preparation or SSC CHSL preparation. I will study mathematics and English, focus mainly on these 2 things when it comes to the first year of graduation, because ultimately CGL, CHSL, the game is in English and maths section. The whole game, if you want to win the game, you will have to score well in English and mathematics. So if you are not able to give time to your general studies and reasoning, don't give time. If you are not able to give time, no issue. You should at least give 3 hours, 1.5 hours to mathematics, 1.5 hours to English if you are preparing for SSC CGL or CHSL exam and you are a early bird, means you are in the first year of the graduation. I hope.
Right. Right, absolutely. Thank you, sir, for that answer. Okay, I am also seeing a common question coming here for UPSC in CAPF. Sir, if you could help in that, like how to prepare, they want to know how can we prepare that.
CAPF, I will have to go through the syllabus. At present, I'm not remembering the syllabus, so that I will be able to help later on, or there will be a webinar later on.
Absolutely. I think Gugi, I think you wanted to know this. So you can always put up this question on Ask Shiksha, and I think our experts and panelists are there, so they can help you and guide you on that. So please do not worry on that. Okay. So we are discussing about how to prepare CHSL. So please be with us in the entire webinar. Okay. Coming to Devika, your question. Could you please share the important areas to be focused for SSC CHSL exam? Okay. So Devika, we are discussing here for English. So sir can help you for particularly English. What are the important areas? And probably we'll have another session on maths in the next week. So you'll get to know more about maths, SSC CHSL for the next week, right? So right now we'll discuss about the English. So what are the important areas they can really focus on for English subject?
As I told, vocabulary section is the prime area. You can study from previous year papers and go through the vocabulary that has been asked in the last 5 to 10 years. Then you can take a book of word power made easy, normal Lewis. That will be helpful in your idioms, phrases part, and probable synonyms and antonyms in lucid. So you have to basically focus more on vocabulary, because 12 to 13, 14, 12 to 13 or maximum 14 questions are being asked on vocabulary. So you will have to improve the vocabulary and basic vocabulary. You don't need to go to the tough words or learn the tough words. You remember the easy words. That will be helpful in CHSL examination. And second thing is grammar, passive, active, passive, direct, indirect, error detection based on tenses, adjectives, comparison of degrees. These things you will have to cover basically for SSC CHSL, and you will have to practice para jumbles. That will also give you marks. You will get around 23 marks or 22 to 23 marks if you focus on these sections.
Right. So since you mentioned about English vocabulary, that it is a very important area that cannot be absolutely missed, and it is very scoring. So is there a particular strategy or a way to prepare for English vocabulary so that it gives the maximum result and more scoring?
Okay. So see, if I am going to tell you regarding short term as well as long term. See, if you are having an examination this time around, so your goal will have to be short term, because you cannot think of long term, because you have to score in this particular examination. So for short term, you need to practice quizzes, you need to solve close tests, you need to solve questions and write words, 5 to 10 word substitution daily, 5 to 10 idiom phrases daily, 5 to 10 synonyms from the previous year, and the books that are totally based on vocabulary. And if your goal is long term, then you need to practice on root word, read newspapers, read the editorial section of the Hindu, the Indian Express, and daily take out 5 to 10 words from that section, make a note, note down synonyms and antonyms of those words, try to form a sentence if you want to improve your vocabulary section for long term. So for long term, practice of read newspapers, chalk down vocabulary from newspapers of the editorial of the Hindu and the Indian Express or the Times of India, and word power, continue with the word power book. Third is practice quizzes and questions. These three things will definitely improve your vocabulary in the long term. And if your plan is short term, then better to solve previous year questions, give quizzes, give mock tests, that will, and note down words from there. That will help you improve your vocabulary.
Right. I think for the vocabulary, which is the most important area, I think all of you who are here must keep a note on all these important topics and points that sir is mentioning here in the webinar, because this would really help you, work very practically and very, in a short span of time, you can have your revision done. So you know where to focus more on, right? Okay. Okay. I'll just move to the practice questions. Okay. Vikas Kumar sir wants to know about SSC CHSL practice questions. What kind of practice questions are there, and how can they get hold of that?
The kind of questions that are basically based in CHSL or practice questions are like India had won the match yesterday. So yesterday shows past, so we will use one. So these easy questions or basic questions are being asked. For that, you can take a book of Kiran or Aryan publication. That will be helpful. That will give you insight to the basic questions that are being asked in SSC CHSL. Plutus has also got a lot of previous year paper questions and the books that are based on SSC CHSL. So you can also purchase books from Plutus. That will be also helpful. And if you focus this much will be enough. Kiran or Arihant publication, or get a book from Plutus. That will be all for the SSC CHSL.
Right. Thank you. So, Ridhyanshu, I think sir has already mentioned about the book. They want to know, sir, about the books which are best for SSC CGL, CHSL or CGL English. For English, are there any particular books you like to suggest?
MB publication for SSC CGL, and in fact there are sets of SSC CHSL also. Complete SSC you can get in MB publication. Around 130 to 150 sets are there, and you can imagine 130 to 150 sets. So if you practice one set daily from there, and just if you can learn it by heart, then definitely MB publications helps you to score at least 60 to 70% when it comes to SSC examination. So I will definitely give my thumbs up to the MB publication book. They have made a very good book on English as per SSC examination.
Okay. Sir, they also want to know about exam cutoff for particularly CHSL exams. So is there any kind of cutoffs that they should know of?
There is no sectional cutoff as such, but there are definitely overall cutoffs, and the overall cutoffs are quite high. Suppose if you are getting, the paper is of 200 marks, you will have to at least score 160, 170, and sometimes even further. So you can see what is the battle when it comes to IBPS and SSC. In IBPS, you are literally trying to qualify. You are trying to get bare minimum and win the match. Whereas in SSC, CGL, CHSL, you need to be on the higher side. The more you are on the higher side, the better chances of selection. Merely qualifying or getting cut off also sometimes does not guarantee you selection. Sometimes you have to be you need to get 10 to 15 numbers more than the cutoff, or maybe 20. Then only you can be able to get selection if you want to get selected in SSC CGL or SSC CHSL. So over here, you have to play a long innings. You cannot think of bare minimum getting 60%, 70% and thinking that you will be able to get selected in SSC. No chance. You have to score at least 80%, 80 to 85%. Maybe I be motivated or motivated.
I think this will help them to push a bit harder and to give the best,
because hard work is the key to success.
Absolutely. Okay, Felina has a question about para jumbles. So she says para jumbles are often confusing. So how can I improve on that?
See, there is a basic technique or some technicalities when it comes to para jumble. If you know that those technicalities, then it will be better. Like we have also made videos on para jumble on our YouTube channel, that is Plutus Academy. I can give you some briefing, like suppose you have to find the first sentence, try to know the first sentence, what can be the first sentence in a given para jumble. So you need to know the subject. First statement will generally introduce the subject matter. Subject matter introduction will happen. Generally, subject matter introduction will happen with a noun, like inflation is the rise of prices and goods over a period of time. So you have seen the inflation part where it has been introduced. That statement will be your first statement. Then it will be followed by a pronoun like it. Inflation is indicating it. It has got many types. So you can make pairs. You can find out the first statement. You can find out the last statement, seeing the words used like thus, hence, so. So these things, these nuances or these technicalities help you to solve para jumbles. So basically, there are if you see a session of 30 minutes to 1 hour, you will be definitely being able to solve parajumble much easily if you watch that video on Plutus Cat.
Okay, and let's just come to another question from Richard. So Richard wants to know how we can prepare for SSC in MTS. If you would like to tell them what exactly is this.
MTS as multitasking service. Oh, in MTS, if you talk about MTS, the level even goes more below. But again, the number that you will have to score will be 90 to 95. Because as I told now, in CHSL 80 to 85%, in MTS you will have to score 90 to 95% because basic questions will be asked like preposition, uses of preposition, boast takes off, blush takes act, smile act, laugh act, mock act, look down upon. So phrasal verbs, prepositions, uses of these things are needed when it comes to MTS. Basic things.
Right, and let's move to English grammar. Sir, English grammar is again very, very scoring part, I'm sure. So if we talk about preparing for English grammar for this particular exam, what all do they need to keep in mind so that, you know, they will avoid any kind of silly mistake that usually happens in grammar? And, you know, grammar could be the most scoring part.
See, because you are having pretty less time, so it is not possible to remember the theory part of the grammar. So you need to know the rules or the main core rules that are in every chapter. So suppose you are studying nouns, no need to study the theory part. Just try to know 20 or 30 basic rules of nouns. Same goes with pronouns, same goes with subject verb. So if I talk about parts of speech, there are 8 parts of speech. Try to know 150 to 200 rules based on these topics, and then at least solve 200 to 300 questions of overall error. So if you are going to do this around 500 to 6 errors solving, if you solve 500 to 6 error questions, then definitely you will be able to score much more as compared to if you're studying the theory part of or practicing chapter wise. For chapter wise, I'm just saying just focus on 20 to 30 rules, and if you want, you can take 20 to 30 questions that are basically asked in a particular chapter. So main focus will be on tenses, subject verb agreement. You can note down, students, subject verb agreement, tenses, prepositions, comparison of degrees, adjectives, and adverbs. These are the 5 topics that you need to focus on when it comes to grammar question, and voice and narration, 7 topics.
So, sir, when they are appearing for the exam, I'm sure they need to divide each and every section, properly in time so they are able to complete the entire paper. So, what would be the kind of time division while appearing for the exam for each section?
See, the main thing in SSC CHSL exam or CGL is that you don't get a particular question on the dot. See, first question will be synonym, second question will be of active passive, third question will be of direct indirect. So time means you cannot think that I will first choose the vocabulary section or first I will choose the passive section. You will have to play as the ball comes. Means as are the questions appearing, you will have to solve them. So if I talk about vocabulary section, in vocabulary section it is pretty. If you know the answer, you will tick it. If you will click the right answer, or you will leave it. So vocabulary section takes less time. So you focus on vocabulary section, focus on grammar sections, and last you solve the reading comprehension or para jumbles or the sections which take time. But generally when it comes to time, there is no shortage of time. The main thing is you have to score more. As I talked in previous thing, you have to be accurate. Over here you have to score high. So you're thinking of, means if you give time, time duration will not be a problem. You can easily solve 25 questions basically because they are pretty easy questions. You can easily solve in around 10 to 15 minutes.
Right. So all of you who are raising your hands, I would request you to please put your query in the Q&A, please. Probably from there we can take up your question. Okay, I'll move to the next part. So talking about the English comprehension preparation, are there any particular resources or books that you will suggest that students can take help of and get good knowledge from there?
See, it depends what examination you are preparing, for preparing for basically reading comprehension. If you are preparing for IBPS PO, Bank PO, then I will suggest you books like ACE Adda 247 has got a book ACE. So that has got a quite a good level of reading comprehensions. Or you can take Arun Sharma critical listening, or means for CAT. That will be helpful in IBPS PO examinations or banking examination, because the level over there will be of CAT level, or you can see or CAT level. But if you want to go for CGL or CHSC level, so as I mentioned, the books regarding the MB publication, Aryant, Kiran, that will be more than sufficient to help you in the passage section. But if you want to go for a bank PO examination, banking examination, then you will have to focus on books like ACE and Arun Sharma for CAT.
So,
Those books.
so these are like the general English books that they can refer to.
Yes, these are the general books. In when you will see the Arun Sharma CAT book, there will be other sections also, but you need to focus on the English section or the reading comprehension part that he is given. So that will be helpful.
All right. So I think Sunil has put up this question. So Sunil sir has already answered which are the best general English books that you can take help from, right? Okay. I'll move to another question for newspapers. Sir, if we talk about newspapers again, the students are always asked to read good English newspaper that helps them to improve their vocabulary and their grammar part. So, would you like to suggest any particular newspapers that they can, make in a habit of reading every day?
The Hindu. The Hindu is definitely the best when it comes to all the newspapers. But suppose if you are a beginner and you have your knowledge of English is not that good, or you are a mediocre person, so then you can start with Times of India. But the Hindu is the best when it comes to the newspaper part, because the vocabulary used there is ever evolving, ever changing, and that is and the Hindu vocabulary is being asked a lot in today's examination. So I will suggest the Hindu. And one user has written R.S. Agarwal. Yes, R.S. Agarwal is also a very good book. You can purchase that also if you are having R.S. Agarwal or S.P. Bakshi or S.C. Gupta. These books are also good for English. But when it comes to newspaper, you should focus on the Hindu. And if you're not able to study newspaper, then you can start with novels or religious books. But I would suggest that focusing on the Hindu will definitely help.
Right. Sir, if we talk about any kind of online resources that they can look up to. So, what kind of online resources students as a general can look up to for preparing SSC CHSL exams?
See, you can go on the sites of Plutus Academy. First of all, you can get a lot of content over there for SSC. Then you have got SSC Adda website. You can go there also. Interview Mania is also a site. There you can practice questions. So these sites can be helpful when it comes to SSC part. You can also go to the Byju's, means grade up. They're also they are giving a lot of SSC content. So these websites can be helpful when it comes to SSC part. For banking section, you can see Bankers Daily, Smart Kida, and Adda 247 and Plutus Academy as well. These sites are good for banking examination.
Right. So I think there are a lot of resources that they can look up to. Okay. So another question, how to revise English to consolidate English preparation for these kinds of competitive exams?
How to revise? No?
Yes.
So first of all, you should make a separate copy for vocabulary and separate copy for grammar. What do I see most of the students do? They form all the notes in one copy. Mathematics, English, reasoning, GS, they do not make a separate copy of any section. And when it comes to the revision part, in the last part, they are troubled. Why? Because either they will open a book and revise from there, or while going through the notes, they will suffer a lot because they will have to turn around the pages and waste time there. So my suggestion to all the students will be that if you are preparing, suppose for English, make a separate copy for vocabulary and make a separate copy for grammar. And in grammar part also, you try to form rules in a short form method or in a structure method, so that you don't have to go to the theory part. Like if you suppose there is a rule regarding collective noun. Collective noun takes verb singular and takes a possessive adjective singular when it comes to when we talk about it as a unit. So what we can do is collective noun plus VB verb SN singular plus possessive adjective singular. So I have made a mathematical structure of a particular grammar rule, and I will note down around 150 to 200 structures. Those structures I will revise when it will be when my examinations will be near, and similarly will be the vocabulary thing. I will make notes of the vocabulary where I would have written synonyms, antonyms, one word, idiom. So I need not see any book when it comes to the revision thing. I will have to focus on my notes that will be divided into grammar and vocabulary, different copies, different notes for English. That will be helpful.
Right. So I think that would sort them for the revision part. And since 1 month time is left, so they can actually go on and have a proper revision before they sit for the exam, because the tier 1 and tier 2 will have a little time difference for the exam, but the first one would be in May. So I think the tier 1 exams could be well revision, because this is the time for the entire revision. Okay, Prachi, for online, sir, I've already mentioned what kind of study material online you can find it. But if you have any query, you can always put up a question on our website. So we can help you with the online resources, because we just took a question on this and sir has already answered that, right? Okay, Felina, I'll be taking your question next regarding negative markings. Okay, again, I think a question that they need to know is, are there any negative markings in the English session?
Yes, there is definitely negative marking. Like there will be 0.25 negative marking is there. So 1/4 is the negative marking. So you will have be penalized if you are giving a wrong answer. So negative marking is definitely there. So be careful while giving answers. Don't just say जय माता दी और खुदा का नाम लेके नहीं कर देना है. You need to be very sure about a particular answer, then only you should give it, because there is a negative marking, that is 1/4.
And I think this is a question that they always have, that whether they have any negative markings or not. So I think the fact is very clear that yes, negative marking is happening. So please be very, very careful when you are writing your answer. Sir, before I move to the other question, I like to launch a poll for all of them because we're towards the end of the session, like 5-10 minutes more will be here. So I would like to know what kind of I mean, the session, the entire flow, how was the entire session flow? I think we covered a lot of things under this entire 45 minutes. We did try to cover everything about English, and probably the last 5 or 10 minutes will be like quickly taking up your questions and wrapping it. So I think your feedback is very important for us, as every time we try and improvise on these kind of content, and we try to prepare more such webinars that will help you, that will guide you, and that will counsel you. Also, I would like to mention that we are coming up with another webinar for maths, again SSC CHSL, which we are organizing on 5th of May. So please keep a check on our social media handles on LinkedIn and Instagram, where we'll be posting all the registration links. So you can register yourself for this free webinar, and please make good use of these sessions, because there are experts coming here giving you a 60 minutes time, taking up your questions and answering all your doubts and queries. So I think as aspirant, as students, you should make good use of these these chances, because there are very, very experienced speakers who are coming here to help you and guide you on Shiksha. So please make good use of these and put all your queries that you have regarding the exams, because they are here to guide you and to counsel you. So I think that would really, really help, right? Okay, Amit, how to contact sir? Please email me and I can help you reach him. So I'm also putting my email ID. So you can reach out to me and probably I can help you get connected, right? So that's my email ID. You can always connect with us on Ask Shiksha or on my email ID, and probably I can help you. Thank you, UV. This is not just for beginners, but for everyone. I think our main motive is to provide help and guide and counseling by these experts, because they are the best and they are here to counsel you in the very right way. So before I move to the last question, so there is another very important question that comes is of coaching. They always want to know, can we prepare by self study? Is it something that we can take help of? Because sir, there are a lot of students who really cannot afford coaching. So they are in a very big dilemma, that how can we prepare it by ourselves and not take a coaching center, or a coaching help is required for these type of competitive exams?
See, it basically depends if your basic is good. If suppose your basic in mathematics is good, your basic in English is good, so you can avoid coaching in that condition. You can just take previous year, you can go on the sites, you can give mock test, mock questions, and that will be all, and you can purchase books that will be helpful. But suppose if your basic is weak, your mathematics, you do not know the advanced level trigonometry, geometry, you're weak in that, your English is weak, so in that case you will have to take a coaching. So it will depend upon your level. So first of all, purchase a mock test series and give 10 mocks and see what score are you getting on in those mocks. Or if you're not able to get online material, take an offline material and solve 10 previous year questions and see if you are able to score 60% or 70%, then you can avoid coaching. You can get the material from YouTube. There are free classes on YouTube. There are free, a lot of channels are giving free classes which will help you to improve to the next level. But suppose if you have given these mocks, you have given these previous year, and you are scoring like 20% or 30%, then it means you will have to take coaching. You will have, being honest, because then again, see which part you are weak. If you are, suppose you are good at GS level, reasoning level, then you can take coaching only for English and mathematics. That will also save your money, because rather than spending for all the subjects, because you are having knowledge of reasoning and GS, and you are also giving money for that, so no use. You can just go for English and mathematics and save money there. Suppose if your English section is good, reasoning is good, GS is good, only math section is weak, so you can take course based on only on mathematics. So you need to do a self analysis before joining a coaching. That self analysis will help you to decide whether you are good in which particular section, you are bad in which section, are you bad in all the sections, are you mediocre in all the sections. That will define whether you should go for a coaching or not, and how to save money, because in today's era it is very important to save our resources. So if your reasoning part is good, you are able to solve, so no need to take coaching for reasoning. GS also, if your GS is good, history, polity is good, you can study by yourself, no need to go for GS. You can just take coaching of English and mathematics. Suppose English is good, then mathematics you need to take. If your mathematics is good, just need to take coaching for English. So you need to do self-analysis before getting to this, before getting to an answer whether you need coaching or not.
Right. I think that's a very impressive answer. Thank you, sir, for that. Because I always get these questions for these kind of competitive exams that we cannot afford. So what in that matter? So I think that very well explains. Okay, Vivo 1724, you need some classes. Okay, you can connect with us regarding any information if you want to join in for classes for preparing competitive exams. So you can connect with us and we could help you and guide you with that.
Can I intervene a little? Okay. You can also go to Plutus Academy also, because Plutus Academy also provides a lot of classes on YouTube, and that are of free of cost. No need to give any money. There are many chapters as well as being discussed on that platform, like subject verb agreement articles. So you can get a lot of free material. You need to have just a internet connection, and you can watch classes on Plutus Academy also. That is quite helpful.
Right. And also, before winding up, I've shared a link. This is the registration link for the free webinar that we are organizing for maths preparation for SSC CHSL, which is on 5th of May. And we'll be having a faculty again from Plutus Academy itself. So you can register yourself for the next maths session. As sir has already mentioned that English and maths are very, very important for this particular exam. So English we have already covered, and we'll be covering maths in the next session. So all of you can register yourself for this very next session, which is happening on the 5th of May, right? And if you have any other queries, I have also shared Ask Shiksha's link. I'm sharing it again. If you have doubts, you want to know, you want to connect with sir also, so we can help you and guide you on that. So you can connect with us. I've also shared my email ID. So you can share your mail with us, and probably we can help you and connect with the panelists and the experts. So I think, sir, thank you so much for taking us, your valuable time and sharing so much of information and guidance to all the students. And before we wrap up, sir, what one piece of advice you would like to give to all the students?
The last or the one piece of advice I would like to give to all the students would be that never back down, never surrender, because if you surrender, because these examinations are going to be tough, you will falter as well. You may face debacle also, but one who stands after falling down many times is the one who achieves success. So if you are falling and then standing, falling and then standing, definitely you will reach towards your goal. You will slip, like in our childhood days when we used to learn cycling. We used to fall several times, but after falling several times, one day we got used to the cycling part, and we achieved our goal. Same is competitive examination. So all those students who are having anxiety or are thinking what will happen if I fail, this is not the last examination of your life. This is the first examination of your life. This examination is going to give you a huge experience which will be helpful later on. So but you have to go and give this examination and give your best shot, and you will learn a lot. You will learn how, because when you experience net bowling and match bowling, there is quite a huge difference. So this is your match bowling match day. Participate, try to perform. Even if you falter, don't take it negatively. Don't think pessimistically. Think optimistically. You are going to win one day.
Right. And on this very positive note, this is a wrap on this webinar, and we will be coming ahead with a lot more such career counseling and counseling webinars for all of you. So thank you so much to everyone for joining us here.